Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Today we will be going through 5 reasons why you should learn cognitive psychology. And just in case you are unaware, cognitive psychology is the science behind the MBTI. The MBTI was built, it basically took to cognitive psychology, built upon it, built this system. And that's what a lot of people are familiar with, but the underpinnings are where the real gold is. And here are 5 reasons you should learn about it. Reason number 1 you should learn cognitive psychology is to better understand yourself. Cognitive psychology, it's all about how our mind works in its entirety. It's how we process our emotions, our thoughts, our wants, and our needs. It covers all aspects of our psychological human nature. We can also understand how we use those parts of our mind, right? When it comes to our thinking, how do we use it? Do we use it in a responsible manner? Are we a little reckless, critical? Are we a little deceptive with it? By learning cognitive psychology, you'll better understand all of your behaviors, reactions, and basically who you are by nature. And make no mistake, cognitive psychology is about nature more than nurture. And I'll give an example of this using my partner's type. She's an ENFP. ENFPs have introverted thinking as their trickster. Introverted thinking is kind of our true-false determinations. And the trickster is also a blind spot. She is incredibly smart and open-minded, easily my favorite person to explore ideas with. But when it comes to reaching that final true-false determination on things, it's very difficult for her to make that determination. But because she has a solid understanding, a solid foundation and understanding of cognitive psychology, she has been able to identify when this is occurring and actually use tools and stuff to help make up for this part that's challenging. And each person has a blind spot like that. And as we are better able to understand ourselves and why we behave the way we do and why we can get negative about the things we do, it frankly helps us better understand everyone. Which brings us to reason number 2 to learn cognitive psychology. Reason number 2 to learn cognitive psychology is for better mutual understanding. The more we understand ourselves and understand our foundations and why we behave the way we do, the better we're able to also understand how other people are behaving. Because if you can identify, I have a blind spot in this particular cognitive function, like I have a blind spot in extroverted feeling, introverted feeling, extroverted intuition. We can identify these blind spots, identify kind of how they affect us, and look at another person and go, what is their blind spot? What's affecting their life in the same way that my extroverted feeling is affecting me? And that depth of understanding each other, it only deepens as time goes on. Eventually, you can actually reach a point where you can identify what someone's parent function are, what their child function is. And as that knowledge expands, there are more ways to use it in order to improve the relationships. And that actually brings us to the number 3 reason why you should learn cognitive psychology. The number 3 reason why you should learn cognitive psychology is to better navigate conflict. And I'm going to use an example that I actually experienced in my work life. I'm a software engineer. That's my day job. And I had gotten a new manager some time ago. And when we first started interacting, let's just say we were not seeing eye to eye. And we were having some conflicts. It wasn't conflict to the point of yelling at each other or anything, like we're adults. But like we rubbed each other the wrong way. And I just couldn't put my finger on it. And then I started looking at it through the lens of cognitive psychology. And I was able to figure out that like he's an ISTP. They have extroverted thinking as their nemesis. And basically extroverted thinking is kind of like what other people think. And the nemesis is a source of worry. So his type is prone to literally worrying about how other people think. And to him, I was obviously other people. So what I did is I adjusted my behavior a little bit. I started being very explicit and, as far as I'm concerned, a little redundant when he would explain things. I would kind of repeat back exactly what he said, explicitly using my own introverted thinking function to help alleviate that worry. Because these functions communicate with each other. So his extroverted thinking is worried about what other people think. Well, how do you alleviate that worry? Well, you tell them what you think. And it changed our working relationship in a very, very big way. And we don't have nearly as many issues. And it's worth noting here too, he doesn't have an understanding about cognitive psychology. That's not something he's particularly interested in as far as I know. But because I have that knowledge and because I brought that knowledge to the relationship, I was able to improve the relationship as a whole. And I really want that to hit home with people who may be looking for explanations to help their relationships. Even if your partner isn't particularly interested in cognitive psychology, you can still use what you know about the attitudes and the functions to improve the relationship as a whole. And that's very powerful. And along with being able to understand that conflict, understand each other, it leads right into the fourth reason why you should learn cognitive psychology. And reason number 4 that you should learn cognitive psychology is to have a better appreciation of our differences. Cognitive psychology is a holy system, not in the religious sense. Don't turn off the video yet, but in the sense of it explains a whole. So you have certain types that are very caring about what other people think and making sure people are secure and safe. And then you have other types that may have that almost as a blind spot, but they're very good at thinking about systems and processes. Each type and each cognitive function and all the attitudes they can occupy all bring something to the table. And when you start to really appreciate and understand what's going on at the core, it really brings a new level of appreciation for other people. It may be a family relationship, maybe your father or your brother, like that you just don't see eye to eye with. Maybe you two have conflict, but you'll be able to identify their type and see all the things that they do bring to the table. And even if you can't relate to them, appreciation and like a gratitude for what they do bring can go a long way to just making life happier and more enjoyable and more peaceful. And reason 5 on the 5 reasons you should learn cognitive psychology is because it's fascinating as hell. The possibilities are endless. Once you have a solid foundation of like cognitive functions and cognitive attitudes, you can really extrapolate it to understand almost anything you could imagine. You can look back at your own decisions and be like, man, like I really went wrong here. I made the wrong decision. What the hell did I do? Oh, well, I was using my hero function and then something happened. So it tried to go here and then it went here. And you can really like create a full picture of what happened. Or you can use it to create a picture of what may happen. And this isn't like zodiac signs. Just to clear that up right now, like zodiac signs and astrology are more about like mythology. Whereas when it comes to cognitive psychology, yes, some of it is conjecture, people just trying to figure things out and using their best guesses. But there's also a lot of scientific studies and brain scans that all support these ideas and this field of study. And it's been built up over decades, since Carl Jung. Like Freud was the father of psychology. Jung studied under Freud and goes, this guy's getting some things wrong, and went off on his own. And then it's been further built on in even recent years. You have Dr. Linda Behrens, you have Dario Nardi. I don't actually know how to pronounce it. Sorry about that. But it's been built upon over decades. It really is the cutting edge, and there's no limit to it because there's always a deeper understanding you can gain about yourself and about your fellow human beings. Heck, it's what man has struggled with since its existence, is kind of like, why are we here? Like, what's the purpose? What's the meaning? How do we relate? Like, these are things that have always interested humans and humanity as a whole. And cognitive psychology is such a good frame to build on that understanding further. And there you have it. The top 5 reasons in my mind to learn cognitive psychology. 1, better understand yourself. 2, better understand others. 3, better be able to understand and navigate conflict between people. 4, have a better appreciation for other people. And 5, because it's so damn interesting. And if you want to learn more, I hope you like the video. I hope you check out my channel. The goal really is to help us all better understand each other, basically improve our lives. That's really the whole goal here. So if you want to stick around, stick around. I hope you enjoy.